Good afternoon, Tan Ajahn.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us pay respect to Tan Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We begin with the chanting. May we invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so we start with the Karaniya Metta Sutta. What we should do. The Buddha verse on loving kindness. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. Karaniya Metta Kusalena Yantang Santang Patang Apisameja Sakko Uchu Ja Suhuchu Ja Suwajo Ja Samutu Anatimani Santu Sako Ja Suparo Ja Appakicho Ja Sallahu Kavuti Santin Triyo Ja Nipako Ja Appakappo Kulesu Ananukito Najakut Tang Sama Jare Kinchiyena Vinyu Pare Upavathayung Sukhino Va Khemino Hontu Sapphe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitata Ye ke Jipana Bhuta Thita Sawa Thawarawa Anavase Sati Khawa Ye Mahantava Machimara Saka Anukathura Tithava Ye Ja Atitha Ye Ja Ture Vasanti Aviture Bhutava Sampave Siva Sapphe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitata Naparo Parang Nikupphe Thananti Manye Thakatta Jinang Kinchi Phayaro Sana Patika Sanya Nanya Manya Satukha Michaya Mata Yatha Niyang Puttang Ayusa Eka Puttamanurakhe Evam Pisappa Pute Sumana Sampavaye Aparimanang Metanca Sappha Lokasming Mana Sampavaye Aparimanang Uttang Atho Jatiriyan Ca Asampatang Averang Asapatang Tithan Jarang Nisino Vasayano Va Yavatasa Vikhatamito Etang Sating Atit Thaya Brahma Metang Vihara Itamahutit Tinja Anupakamma Siravatasanena Sampanno Kame Suvinaya Ketang Nahi Chatu Kappa Sayang Punareti. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who know the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would rather reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether they are weak or strong or meeting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. let none through anger or ill will wish harms upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with the boundless heart, choose one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding by not holding to fixed views. The pure-hearted one, having clarity of visions, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. หันธรรมยังอุทิศนาทิธานาคาทายโยพนามาเสอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอุปัชฌายาคุณุตตราอาจาริโยปการาจมาตาปิตาจยาตกาสุริโยจันทิมาราชาคุณวันตานราปิจาพรหมมาราจอินทาจโลกัปปาลาจเทวตายโมมิตามนุสสาจะมัชฌตาเวริกาปิจาสัพเพสัตตาสุขีหนตุปุญญานิปกตานิเมสุขันจติวิทังเทนตุขิปังปาเปทโวมะตังอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอิมินาอุทิเสนาจาขิปาหังสุลเพเจวตันหุปาทานาเชทนังเยสันตาเนหินาธรรมายาวะนิพพานโตมะมังนัสสันตุสัพพทาเยวะยัตถาชาโตภเวภเวอุชุจิตังสติปัญญาสันเลโควิริยัมหินามาราลพันตุโนกาสังกาตุนจาวิริเยสุเมพุทธาธิปาวโรนาโทธัมโมนาโทวรุตตโมนาโทปัจเจกพุทโธจะสังโฆนาโทตโรมะมังเตโสตมานุภาเวนะมาโรกาสังลพันตุมา Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspirations through the goodness that arises from my practice. May my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the suns and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana. In every kind of birth, may I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my results. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protections of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all this, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. หันธรรมยังเมตตาภรนังกโรมาเสอาหังสุขิโตโหมินิทุกโขโหมิอเวโรโหมิอัพพยาปัจโชโหมิอานิโคโหมิสุขีอัตตานังปริหารามิสัพเพสัตตาสุขิตาโหนตุ Sapphe satta avera hontu. Sapphe satta apaya pacha hontu. Sapphe satta anikha hontu. Sapphe satta sukhi attanang pariharantu. Sapphe satta sappatukkha pamunchantu. Sapphe satta lattha sampatito ma vikhanchantu. Sapphe satta kamma saka kamma thaya tha kamma yoni kamma pantu kamma pati sarana yang kammang karisanti kalayanang va papakang va tasathaya tha pavisanti. Now let us chant the reflections on universal well-beings. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from afflictions, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained when they act upon intentions. All beings are the owners of their actions and inherit its results. Their future is born from such actions, companion to such actions, and its results will be their home. All actions with intentions, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heirs. Okay, now we will do a Vishaya Sutta chanting. This is to contemplation of the unattractiveness of the body. Okay, we start with the Pali first. Jarang va yatti va tithang nisinno uttava sayang samincheti pasareti esakaya sachinchana attina haru samyutto tachamang savale pano chaviyakayo patichanno yatha putang natisati Antapuro Uttarapuro Yakana Pelasawatino Hatayasa Pappasasa Wakasa Pihakasaja Sinkhanikaya Kelasa Setasaja Metasaja Lohitasa Lasikaya Pitasaja Wasaya Tassana wahiso tehi asuci sawati sapada akimha akikutako kannamha kannakutako sinkhani nasato mukhena wamate kata pitang semhan jawamati kayam hasetachalika Attassa sucirang sisang mattalungkassa puritang sappato nang manyati halo avichaya purakkato. Victory Sutta. When one is walking or standing, sitting or lying down, when one bends and stretches, this is the motions of the body, bound together by bones and sinews, plastered with skin and flesh, covered by the epidermis. The body is not seen as it really is, as filled with intestines, filled with the stomach, with the liver and bladder, the heart, lungs, kidneys, and spleen, with snot and saliva, with sweat and fat, with blood and oil of the joints, with bile and grease. Further, from its 9 openings, impurity flows constantly. musk from the eyes, wax from the ears, snot from the nostrils, and from the mouth one sometimes vomits bile and vomits flame, sweat and dirt flow from the body. Then its hollow head is filled with the brain, led on by ignorance. The fool conceives it as beautiful. Yatha jaso mato seti uttu mato vinilako appavitto susanasming anapekha hontiyatayo khatantinang suwanaja singharavaka kimi kaka kicha jakhatanti ye jan ye santi panino Suttavana Puttha Vajjanang Bhikkhu Panyana Va Itha Sokhonang Parishanati Yatha Bhutan Hipassati Yatha Itang Tatha Etang Yatha Etang Tatha Itang Achattanca Pahithaca Kaye Chantang Virachaye Chanta Rakha Viratto So Bhikkhu Panyana Va Itha Acchatka Ammatang Santing Nippanang Pathamacchutang Tavippathako Yang Asuci Tukkanto Pariharati Nana Gunnappa Paripuro Vissavanto Tato Etachisa nikayena yomanye unametave parang va avishanaya imanyantara athasanati vichaya suttang nithitang. And when it is lying dead, bloated and discolored, cast off in a channel ground, the relatives are unconcerned with it. Dogs then devour it, as do jackasses, wolves and worms, crows and vultures devour it, and whatever other beings there are. Having heard the word of the Buddha, a bhikkhu possessing wisdom here fully understand it, because he sees it as it really is. As this, so that. As that, so this. Internally and externally, one should expound designs for the body. That bhikkhu possessing wisdom here, who has espoused desires and lust, has attained the deathless peace, the imperishable state of Nibbana. This two-footed body, impure and foul-smelling, is cherished through filled with various kinds of filth, and oozing here and there. Ones who, because of such a body, would think to exalt himself, or who would disparage others. What is this due to but lack of visions? Okay, so next one is called Maranasati. Pavatati patulayaya sayusantatiya khayang parupamayang sampasang Bhavaye maranasati mahasampatti sampatta Yatha satta mata itha tatha ahang marisami maranang mamahesati uppattiya sahevetang maranang akatang satha maratnathaya okasang vathako viya esati isakang aniwattang tang sattatang kamanusukang Chivitang Uttaya Attang Suhriyo Viyathavati Vichupupulla Usawa Chararachi Parikkayang Khatago Variputassa Sappatapi Avariyo Suyasattama Punniti Putti Vutti Chinatavayang Khatesi Maranang Kippang Katu mati sake katha Paccaya jave kalaya Pahirachattu pattava Maramorang nime sapi Maramano anukhananti. Meditations on death. Like the flames borne out by the wind, these life continuums go to destructions. Recognizing one's similarities to others, one should develop mindfulness of death. Just as people who have achieved great success in the world have died, so too I must certainly die. Death is harassing me. Death always comes along together with birth, searching for an opportunity like a murderer out to kill, not the least bit stoppable, always going forward. Life rushes towards its end, like the rising sun to its setting, like lightnings, a bubble, dewdrops, or a line drawn in the water. Life cannot last. Death is like a murderer after his fall, completely unrestrainable. Death slays those great in glory, in strength, merit, powers, and wisdom, and even the two kinds of conquerors. No need to speak about one like me. Due to a lack of the necessities of life, to some inner or outer misfortune, I, who am dying moment after moment, can die in the blink of an eye. Animitang ananyatang maccanang itachivitang kasirancha paritancha tancha tukkena sangyutang nahiso upakamo atti yena chatana miyare charang pipattawa marahnang ewang thamma hipanino paranang iwa pakkanang pato patannato phayang ewang chatana maccanang niccang maranatto phayang yatthapi kumphararassa kattamatika phashana sapphe phetana pariyanta ewang maccana chivitang taharaja mahanta cha ye phara ye cha pantita sapphe majju vasangyanti sapphe majju parayana anicca sankhara uppathavaya dhammino uppaccittawa nirucchanti te sangvupasamo sukho. The lives of mortals is sightless. Its strength cannot be known in advance. It is difficult and limited and tied up with sufferings. There is no possibility that mortals shall not die. Having reached old age, they die. Such is the nature of living beings. As fruit, when ripe, has to fall, so all beings live constantly in the fear that they will die. As the potter's earthen jars eventually must all break up, so too does the life of mortals eventually come to an end. The young and the old, the foolish and the wise, all move in the all finally end in death. Impermanence are all conditioned things, affected by risings and falling away. Having arises, they then must cease. Which true is it when they subside? Achirang vatayang kayo pataving atise sati chuttho apeta vinyano nirathang vakaling karang anapito tato akha nanunyato ito khato yatha khato tatha khato tathaka paritevana yatha pisera vipula napang ahacca pappata samanta anupariyayung nippothenta jatuttisa ewang chara jamaccu ca ativatanti panino khatiye brahmane vese sutte chantara pukkuse nakinci parivaceti saphang eva pimattati natatha hattinang bhumi narathanang napatiya najapi mantayuthena sakha chetung thanena va tasmahi pantito poso sampassang attamattano พุทเทธัมเมจะสังเคจะทีโรสัทธังนิเวสเยโยธัมมจาริกายเยนะวาจายะอุทธเจตสาอิเทวนังปสังสันติเอจัสสัคเคปโมทติ Before long, this body will lie, cast away upon the ground, bereft of all consciousness, like a useless block of wood. Uninvited, he came here. Without leaves, he departed. He went just as he came, so I lament. Like gigantic boulders, mountains reaching to the sky, moving in from all sides, crushing all in the four directions. So aging and death come rolling over living beings. Noble warriors, priests, merchants, workers, outcasts, and scavengers. They spare nothings, they crush everything. Here, elephants can hold no ground, nor can chariots or infantry. One can't defeat them by a battle of spells, or buy them off by means of wealth. So a wise person, seeing his own good, secures firm convictions in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. He who practices the Dhamma in thoughts, words, and deed receives praise here on earth, and after death rejoice in heaven. Okay, next one, Lattapala Kata. ปัสสามิโลเกสัทธเนมนุสเสลัทธานวิตังนัททันติโมหะลุทธาธนังสันนิจยังกโรนติพิญโยวกาเมอภิปัตถยันติราชาปเสยหาปัทวิงวิชิตตวาสสาคารันตังมหิงอาวสันโตโอรังสมุทัสสะอติตรูปโปปารังสมุทัสสะปิปัตถเยธาราชาจะอัญเยจะพหูมนุสสาอวีตตันหามรณังอุเปนติอุนาวหุตตวานชหันติเทหังกาเมหิโลกัมหินหัตถิติติกันทันตินังยาติปกิริยาเกเสอโหวัตโนอมราติจาหูวัฏเทนะนังปารุตังนิหริตวาจิตตังสมาทายตโตทหันติโสทัยหติสุเลหิตุชมาโนเอเกนะวัฏเทนะปหายโภเคนะมียมานัสสะภวันติตานา ยาติธามิตาอัตถวาสหายาทายาทกาทัสสะทนังหรันติสัตโตปนะคัจฉติเยนะกัมมังนามิยมานังทนังอันเวติกินจิปุตตาจะทาราจะทนังจรัตถังนาทีขังอายุงลัพเตทะเนนะนาจาปิวิเตนะชรังวิหาปันหิตังชีวิตมาหุธีราอาสัสสตังวิปริณามธรรมังรัฐปาล verses I see men wealthy in the world who yet from ignorance give not their gatherers wealth greedily hoard away their riches longing still for further sensual pleasures a king who has conquered the earth by force and rules over the land the ocean bounds is yet unsettled with the seas near shore and hungers for its further shores as well. Most other people too, not just a king, encounter death with craving unabated, which plans still incomplete, they leave the corpse, desires remain unsettled in the world. His relatives lament and rend their hair, crying, "Ah me, our love is dead." They bear away the body wrapped in shroud to place it on the pyre and burn it there. Clad in the shroud, he leaves his wealth behind. Prodded with stakes, he burns upon the pyre. And as he dies, no relatives or friends can offer him shelter and refuge here. While his heir take over his wealth, these beings must pass on according to his actions. And as he dies, nothing can follow him, not child, nor wife, nor wealth, nor royal estate. Longevity is not acquired with wealth, nor can prosperity banish old age. Short is this life, as our sages say, eternity it knows not, only change. อัตถาทลิทาจะพุสันติภัสสังภาโรจะทีโรจะตเทวพุทโธภาโรหิภาลยาวัติโตวเสติทีโรจะนวัตเทติภัสสพุทโธตัสมาหิปัญญาวัฒเนนะเสยโยยายะโวสานังอิทธาธิคัจฉติอัพโยสิตัตตาหิภวาภเวสุปาปานิกัมมานิการอนติโมหะอุเปติขัพพัญจปรัญจโลกังสังสารังอาปัจจปรัมปรายาตัสสะปปัญโยอภิสัตถหันโตอุเปติขัพพัญจปรัญจโลกังโจโรยถาสันทิมุเคขหิตโตสกัมมุนาหัญญติปาปธัมโมเอวังปาชาเปจปรัมหิโลเกสกัมมุนาหัญญติปาปธัมโมกามาหิจิตรามัทุรามโนรมาวิโรปรูเปนมเทนติจิตตังอาทีนวังกามคุเนสุทิสวาตัสมาอหังปัปปจิโตมหิราชาทุมัพพลานิวปตันติมานวาทหราจวุฒาจะสรีระเพทาเอตัมปิทิสวาปัปปจิโตมหิราชาอัปปันนกังสามัญญเมวะสยโยติ The rich and poor alike shall feel death touch. The fools and sage as well shall feel it too. But while the fool lies stricken by his folly, no sage will ever tremble at the touch. Better is wisdom here than any wealth, since by wisdom one gains the final goal. For people through ignorance do evil deeds, while failing to reach the goal from life to life. As one goes to the wombs and the next world, renewing the successive rounds of birth, another of little wisdom, trusting him, goes also to the wombs and the next world. Just as a robber caught in beggary is made to suffer for his evil deed, so people after death in the next world are made to suffer for their evil deeds. Sensual pleasures, very sweet, delightful, in many different ways, disturb the mind. Seeing the danger in these sensual ties, I choose to lead the homeless life, O king. As fruits fall from the tree, so people too, both young and old, fall when this body breaks. Seeing this too, O king, I have gone forth. Better is the refuge, life's assurance. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we can stop here.
We now request for 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We'll begin by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama tatiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama.
Okay, so repeat after me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
พุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
บุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติสรณคัมมนังนิทิตัง
อามาบันเต
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาทิปาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อตินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเม
กาเม
สุ
สุ
มิ
มิชาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
Now for the eighth preceptor อภรัมมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อบรามจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
วิการโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
วิคาลโภจนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจคีตวาทิตวิสุกทัสสนามาลาคันทวิเลปนะดารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจากิตาวาริตาวิสุขาดัสนามาลากันดาวิเลปนาดารณามันดนาวิบุสนาธานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิอัตถสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิ
สีเลนะสุขติงยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพุติงยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
สาธุสาธุสาธุ Let us bow 3 times to Tanajan again. Let's bow. Second bow. Third bow. We'll now formally request for the Dhamma talk.
Brahma Jaloka Thi Bhakti Sahang Bhakti Các bạn Jali An Thi Wat Rang Aya Jakha Santi Thak Sakta Bak Rak Ja Khak Jaktika Ê Se Thủ Thăng Mang Anu Kang Big Mang Bak Chiang.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Okay, so today I will talk about the sutta that we chant every day. I mean, in the beginning of every sessions, we always chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness, and I always chant this even though I'm changing other sutta around. So you might be wondering what is special about this sutta. So I would just maybe expand on it a little bit and how important this sutta is. So basically, this sutta is called Karaniya Metta. It's come from two words. Karaniya means what should be done, and then Metta. You probably know the Metta is loving kindness. So there are two parts of it. The first part is consider the thing that you should be done. Actually, is trainings. Basically, is how to prepare yourself. And when you're ready, the second half is about loving kindness. So that is basically the name of the sutta. Tell us about what we can be chanting is about. So there's two part of it. So this sutta is basically origin in the time of the Buddha. Actually, the Buddha is teaching this. He taught this sutta himself to the group of monks. The story is that there was a group of monks who learned how to meditate with the Buddha, and when he know how to meditate, now he go in the forest to practice by himself as a group. So they're traveling and they find a piece of forest that is peaceful, and so they decided to stay there. So the alms village is not so far away, so they can go and have alms and come back and meditate there. So when you go to the forest, sometimes there's the god, the tree gods, the tree spirit who are living in the tree. When the monks stay there, they have to come down from the tree, because the monk is considered the holy, supposed to be staying higher than the monks. So they have to come down and then pay respect to the monks. So in the beginning, they're happy that the monks were there, but after a while, they realize that the group of monks will probably gonna spend a vasa here, meaning 3 months. So every time the monks pass by, they have to come down. So they inconvenient. So they decided they want to chase the monks away. So they disguise themselves as very like a ghost. Sometimes there's no head. Sometimes with a very nasty smell, or sometimes with a sound that is like goofy, very very haunted forest. So the monks, each of them, because of that, they decided this is not a suitable place anymore. So they leave the place, come back to the Buddha. So the Buddha and they tell us what happened. So the Buddha listened and tell the monks that, okay, you go back. This is the place for you, but now you need the weapon. So this is the weapon that the Buddha talking about. So the monks say, oh, what kind of weapons? You need this weapon. Basically, you need to be the thing that you should be done before, like the step by step, and then the metta, loving kindness. So this is basically the origin of this sutta. So the monk learn this sutta by heart. All of them, they go back to the forest, and before they go in, they will recite this sutta. So basically, when all the three spirits and all those things that live there, learning that the monks come here with a good will. Actually, they are very diligent in their practice. They are walking, sitting, meditate, and this is the thing that they do basically in this sutta. And then in the end, they're also spreading loving kindness toward all living beings around. So they share their merit around. So the spirits decide, so we should support them. So the monks stay happily in these 3 months. They can practice, and all the spirits support them. And at the end of the vasa, they all attain the arhat. So they basically fulfill their purpose, and they come out of this forest with the fully enlightened. So this is basically background of this story. So that's why this sutta is very important, especially for the forest monk. Actually, when we go to Dong, for example, when we go in the forest, the first thing before we put up our grot, our mosquito net, is that we will do this chanting, basically to help us to basically you can say we can set up the purpose why we are here. This is the thing that we're gonna do, and whatever we do, we share it. We spread the loving kindness toward all living beings so they can share whatever we learn. So when all the spirit there listen to this, they will, their heart will be soft, and they say, okay, you here with the good will, so we'll take care of you, we'll safeguard you, we'll make sure that you practice well. So this become traditions. So like when we travel, for example, to Taodam and things, so we will do this chanting. But not only that, not only you do in the forest, but because when we in the forest as well, when we in the monastery, because we are the forest monastery, so our hut, our kuti, sometimes living far away from each other. So sometimes you are new arriving there, your hut is quite far away from the group. Normally, if you're a newcomer, you get the furthest kuti in the monastery. So that's the tradition. So you have to walk a long way. So and sometimes you might be unfamiliar with the place and all those that. So the first thing you do is that you go there and you chanting this sutta to protect. I think these days some monk hasn't learned this. So sometimes in the middle of the night they saw something and they run away because of that. So I thought, have you chant before you sleep? So then they not really learn that as before. But so this is basically the traditions of the forest monks. We will do this before we entering the kuti, and then this will help protecting us. Okay, so that the story of this sutta, and this is the sutta that Ajahn Chiyasaro, he loved that so much as well. I remember when in Wat Pananachat, he always come back to the sutta and explain to us the meaning of it. It's also the by the way, this sutta is for the people who born on. So Ajahn Chiyasaro is born on Tuesday, so it's a special sutta for him. But I think it's okay for everybody, so you can learn this and then you can practice it. So we can go to the meaning of it, right? So we normally we do it in English, but actually it's the meaning is in the Pali. So maybe I can go over it with you and maybe expand upon the meaning a little bit. Okay, first of all, this is what should be done. Okay, so what is the thing that should be done? So in the Pali, they have the word here is called atta. Atta means the meanings or the profit. So what you expect in your life, what is your purpose in your life? It's called atta. And there's 3 levels of this purpose. It can be the purpose in this life, and then next life, and then you call the ultimate purpose. So they have 3 levels of each purpose. But somehow in the translation, you lost that word completely. But in the Pali, there's a very special word there. The word atta. It can mean the meaning. For people who didn't find the meaning in their life, then maybe they should chant this sutta, because there are 3 levels of meaning. The first one is the meaning that you can have in this lifetime. For example, people want to have money, have healthy, and maybe live happily with your families. You have a good job. You feel basically helping with the community. You feel like a positive member of the communities. All these things about the thing that you can see in this lifetime. So that called the purpose in this lifetime. And then the second one is called the next life. So because in Buddhism we talking about samsara. This life is not the only life. We still carry on, because if we still have the causes and conditions for next life, which is the precepts and delusion, and the thing that you haven't finished, you haven't seen the nibbana yet, you still have to go through life again in your next life according to your karma. So the purpose is for next life to have to born in the good place, meaning either human beings or God. There's 2 basically good destination. And then ultimate meanings. This is unique in Buddhism, which is called nibbana, which means completely free, liberate from all suffering. So they say that the wise people will consider these 3 purpose or 3 meanings, and they will act in such a way that not, if you just only put your emphasis on the purpose in this life, you might diminish your purpose next life and ultimate meaning. So you should lead the life in the way that you not lost any of this purpose. Of course, you want to have a good meaning in this life, but next life you also want to have a good destination. If you still reborn again, you want to born in the good destination, and then of course ultimately you want to be free from all suffering. So this is the meaning of the word atta. So it just make you think about, okay, what is your meaning in your life? Are you always happy about this life, the thing that you can see? And for the wise people, they not only that, they also think about the next life and the ultimate meaning in their life as well. Okay, so next one is the one who the skill in goodness. This is a translation from the kusala. Kusala usually we can translate as a wholesome, or they know the wise people, the one who skill in their life. They live their life in such a way that is a benefit to themselves and to the people around them, and know the path of peace. The path of peace here is nibbana. So here is the wise people is really clever, but they have to know the ultimate purpose as well. They have to know the nibbana, able to be the real wise people. Okay, so that you have to at least know the meaning or the purpose in your life, and then maybe you can learn it from the wise people who know the path to peace. Okay, so that basically the first sentence is that you look around. Is your meaning? Do you have any meaning in your life? So what is your aims for? If you don't have one, maybe you look around and people you are wise, you can look at them and how they do. You can imitate them. Use them as your idol and to follow. You should follow the good example. Otherwise, you'll be in troubles. Okay, so that is the first part, and then now going to the quality of the one of you that you need to have. So before you practice, the first thing very important is you have to be able. This is the translation from the word sakka. Sakka means capable, able, brave, This is a very good quality of brave, and like you can say you dare, you dare to, you challenge yourself, you step forward, you want to come and see, all the things that the Buddha say. You want to try it out, whether it's work or not. So actually the word Sakka have many meaning as well. The word Sakka is the name of the Indra, the king of God. And also the word Sakka is the name of the Buddha clans as well, Sakaya lineage. So the word Sakka has very, very deep meaning. In Thai, we have the word Sakayapap, which means potential. That means you have your potentials. So this is very important, that you have to be there. You have to, you are not very, you have to be step forward and want to act and want to take it upon yourself to prove the teaching of the Buddha, basically by practicing. And then it comes with another quality, which is translated as upright. It's from the word Pali uchu. Uchu means upright. These two qualities is probably, you can say, is the most two important quality that you need to have before you practice. The first thing is to basically brave, and second one is to be straight, to be upright. So when you practice, when you find that you make a mistake, okay, so when you have when you have made the mistake, you have to brave enough to correct yourself. Because if you don't do that, then you no longer upright. Basically, because the upright is a quality that you say you will do it, and then if you not live according to the teaching, then you have to modify it and learn from it and do it better next time. So this quality is making you basically adjust yourself to basically try to follow the teaching of the Buddha as the best you can. Sometimes it's not easy because you have to go against the craving, which is you identify as me and mine. The teaching, the real teaching, is to go against the stream. Like the Ajahn always say, that if you still follow your craving, you haven't started practicing it yet. So the first step is to dare to step forward and challenge yourself, and then stick to that. And the quality of brave is very important. One time the monks asked Ajahn Chah, what make you difference? Why you able to accomplish all of this? And Ajahn Chah said, I'm like it, all of you. Only thing the difference is I'm there. I'm brave enough to try out the teaching of the Buddha, because he said that I want to see whether if I give it whole life to the teaching of the Buddha to prove it, then maybe I can learn something more, other than just let my life, drag on by, again and again, this samsara. So he brave enough to step forward and try it out. And he also upright as well. Every time he know that he makes a mistake, he determined not to do that again and correct. That two quality is very important. And then there's another word called suhushu. Actually, it's the same, but it's more the adding of su in front is mean not only this upright and straightforward, it's only straightforward in the good way as well. You can divide it, the meaning. The first ushu mean that you're straightforward in your speech and your action and bodily actions, and the second one, suhushu, is mean you're straight in your mind. So not only superficially or you appear to be straightforward, you have to go deep in your mind as well. Your mind is straightforward. So that's why the Pali used two words, ushu and suhushu, which is actually it's the same root. Or another meaning, ushu mean that you can practice when you live among the people who practice the same, kind of sharing the same ideal, supporting you. And then suhushu is that you can continue to practice even though sometimes you have to live among the people who doesn't share the same idea with you. So it's more difficult. In the first scenario, it's easy. Say you in the monastery, for example, you can keep the precept because people all around you keep the precept. You can't sneak to the kitchen in the afternoon because people will catch you, and they'll support you to keep the rules. But if you go out in the world, it's different. It's different story. People not really understand what you do. Sometimes they even make joke of you. Are you able to keep your practice or not? So that is more challenging. So that's why it's called Uchu and Suhuchu. Some people only able to practice within the group that support them. When they go out, when they find a group that not support them, they're not able to practice anymore. So this is that's why the Buddha used two words. So to emphasize that if you're a true practitioner, it doesn't matter what the environment is. If you live in the world where they are not really supportive, you can say that, okay, even the world are full of people are harming each other, I'm not gonna be one of them. I gonna be harmless. I gonna be whatever practice you can put the in yourself. People who are killing, I'm not gonna kill. People stealing, I'm not gonna steal. People commit sexual misconduct, I'm gonna stay faithful to my wife or my husband. So this is the thing that you do when you are going go against the stream. It's much more difficult when people around you not really support you. But that the whole idea of training. So if you can choose, the community you can live in. But if you can't, you still have to practice. There's no option for you. You can't use your excuse. When you die, when you see the king of death, you can't say that, people around me do that, so I'm sorry, I have to follow them. It doesn't work. You go to hell. they will not listen. You can't use that as your excuse. Okay, so that the Uchu and Suhuchu. And then Suvacho Jasa is mean to be able to give to listen to the anything that recommendation. Sometimes because when you practice, sometimes your friend can point out to you, oh, this is your shortcoming, you do it wrong. So you should be able to listen, not getting angry. Like, oh, who are you? You say, okay, yeah, listen first, and then contemplate on it, and then if it coming from the right place, maybe your friend might have a good intention, maybe they know better than you, helping you out. So it's good to listen to the reprimand of the people around you and change. They said that the good mirror is your eyes of your friends, because you can give the feedback to you. Especially the one who are your real friend should give you the good recommendation, so that you can be better person. If you live with anybody, near anybody, and you be a better person, then that's a good friend. If you live with anybody and you become the worst version of yourself, then maybe that's not a good friend. Maybe because that bring the worst thing in you. The good friend should bring the best thing in you, and you should want to basically learn and develop and evolve, to overcome many things. So that how the quality of be patient, listen to people, listen to their feedback is very important. Okay, so Suvacho Jasa, and then Mutu. Mutu here is mean gentle. Mutu. This is very good quality as well. You need to be gentle, and gentle is different than weak. People who are weak are not gentle. Sometimes they overact, because they want to hide their weakness. People with gentle, they have to be strong. They're strong in their mind, but they're strong enough to be able to gentle and kind. So they listen carefully and they gentle, and then they act with that. With their speech, it's very gentle in their speech. And then anatimani, we translate as humble and not conceited. So this is also very important. When we practice, we shouldn't think that we are higher than other person. Some people, when they take precept, they, oh yeah, I'm higher than other people. So that conceited, and the conceited seep in. So it should be humble. It's nothing to be boastful about that you're not doing a bad thing. Right? It's say like, I don't do this, I not do that. What can you boast about it? Basically you're not doing the bad thing. That's what you do. So it's something. If you do it for yourself, it's not something that you should compare to other people. If they're still doing some bad thing, well, that what they level. Maybe they understand that much, so they keep doing the thing that is harmful to themselves and people around them. But you know better now. So you abandon any evil actions, any unwholesome action, and so it's nothing to be to be proud of or to be have conceit about that. It's just something that you not do the bad thing. Okay, so and then anatimani santusako. Okay, so santusako in Pali is called santosa or content. This is very important quality as well, especially when you want to practice to live simple life and then content with what you have. So there are three types of content. Content of what belongs to you. So this is very important. Some people are not content. They're always looking for other people. What do they have? What is my neighbor? What are they up to now? So you want to have the same. Maybe if they have this car, you want to upgrade yourself to compete with your neighbor. So if you still contest with your neighbor, then it's very difficult to practice. You have to contend with how much you earn and how much you have. And the second one is not only that. You have to sometimes what you have is too much. Sometimes you can, if you're happy with less thing, then you can share what you have. It become extra. You can give it away to other people because you don't need that. So that's the second step of the content. And the last one is called the content that is not up and down. You keep your content or the non-greedy mind all the way. You're not high when you got a good thing, and you're not depressed when you got a bad thing. You keep your mind steady on the same level. So that's the three steps of being content. Content about only thing that you earn belong to you. Second one, look at your own. How much can you live with little? Can you live with less? That means that you can give more. You don't have to got everything that you earn, because then you can happy with what you have. With very little, it becomes surplus. You can give it away to your friends and people around you. And the last one is try to continuously be content with every moment by moment. Okay. And then suparo is mean easily satisfied. Suparo, the meaning of suparo is mean to be burdened. To be the burden is that is not too much burden on other people. Basically, you become easily to take care of. That is the meaning of that. So it usually go with the content. These two quality, the content and easily to take care of. So these two quality go together. And then the next one, apakicco, unburdened with duties. So this is the duty in the world, in the worldly sense. Sometimes people are preoccupied with all other things. They come to the monastery, they still have the telephone, they call for business here and there, arrange for that. So it's a lot of things going on. So sometimes it's good to put that aside. Okay, and then maybe in the monastery, just make it not too much work, and just so that you can have time to focus internally rather than try to catch up with the business in the world. As a monks, there are certain type of duties. For example, of construction. Some monks basically spend their time building the monastery all the time, day and night. So the Buddha said that's not a good way. You should know the time. Actually, the word for building in the Pali is called Navakamma. It means the new project. People with construction, when they think, they usually think about the proliferation in their mind, how to make it better, when they make the whatever. So that is very total. It's not, of course the monastery sometimes needs some building, but you should know the time and place. When you build, you build, and when you put it to rest, you can focus back on the body and look in your own, your own body and mind, not to focus all your times. And sometimes basically you live, you use all energy to build things, and then that you maintain monk's life through that. Usually not lasting long, because you should find the happiness that's coming from studying, from keeping the precept, from meditation. That how you have a long-term healthy source of happiness, because you can't build all the time. The building have some time. When you have enough place, comfortable enough, then you can let go of that and focus more on study. Okay, and then Apakicco Salahukavutri. So basically you should not have so many work, and Salahukavutri Santin Trio. Okay, so the next one, peaceful and calm. This is talking about the sense doors. In three mean the eye, ear, nose, tongues, body, touching. These things have to be, you have to know when the context to these sense doors. When unwholesome arise, you have to stop that, and you have to encourage the wholesome. Basically, it means you have the mindfulness, when you interact with the world, with these sense doors, and the thing that is not important, or when you deal with that, your unwholesome quality increase, then you should abandon that. For example, say, when you see certain thing, you feel greedy or feel hatred, then you should stop seeing that. This not only with your eyes and ear, now it's also covering the media as well, including your cell phone, your social, your Line or your Facebook or whatever. When you have to notice that when you see this and you hear this, what is really happening? Are wholesome quality increase and unwholesome decrease, or the opposite? If the wholesome decrease and unwholesome quality increase, then that is not a good way. So you should know the limit of your using this. You can call this the expansions of your sense doors. Now we have the technology, so this focus restraint, sense restraint is very important in this day where we are full with technology. We have to use it in a skillful way. And then the word wise is translated from the word nipako. The nipako is mean to have the wisdom enough to keep your mind on the object of meditation. So you have to know the purpose. Okay, if I do this, would it help me with this kind of meditation, or will detract me from it? Then maybe I shouldn't do it. So the word nipako is very tied to the meditation. You have to know which direction or which decision that you make each moment. Would it help? Would it support your meditation or not? If it not, then maybe I shouldn't do that. So it's not just a wise in the broader term, it's a wise very specific in the, especially in the beginning, is consider the sampachanya, the movement, the acts of knowing what you do, especially your body. When you're walking, you're walking, sitting, lying down, when you're stretching, eating, talking, defecation, urination, all those processes, you have to be mindful and conscious. Basically, that's the meaning of nippago. And okay, and then nippago, everything is simple. So rather than to get what you don't have, try to be happy with what you have, and then try to use that as a say, I'm learning what is how much do I need to eat and how much I need to sleep, how much exercise I need. So this is the whole idea of learning about what is good for you in the long run as well. What is good for your mental health, your physical health, in terms of the eating that is not too much, not too little, sleeping not too much, not too little, all these things that you can learn by this way. And then, okay, come to the last one. Actually, this is the thing very important. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. So this is the thing that when we do certain things, maybe there's something that maybe not in line with the way the wise one do. So we should open our mind, always say that we can be wrong sometime, and then should ready to adjust that. So whatever we find that is not a good thing to do, then you shouldn't just say, okay, other people shouldn't do it, but I can do it. That's called hypocrite. So you should do yourself rather than point finger to other people. You do it. If you think that it's not good, then you should be the one who do it. Otherwise, then it's not really good. If you really feel that it's good, you'll be the first one who do it. So that is very important. Okay, so this 10 thing is something that actually more than 10, about 15 things that you can do. And then now the second half is about loving kindness, starting from the word wishing in gladness and in safety may all beings be at ease. So this is the first of what things should be done is about 15 of them. One by one you can go through that. And then now talking about metta, now you're ready to spread the loving kindness. So the loving kindness is something that you have to work. It's not just passive. It's a very active way. Basically you have to train yourself in the sila, samadhi, and panya first. So and then you're ready to spread the loving kindness. Okay, and then they start with the all beings, but then they go to specific. Weak, strong. Okay, so they said that when you spread the loving kindness, if you start with a lot of things, it might be difficult. It's like when you start to light the fire, you want to add something small first, the piece of wood that is small, so it's easy to get burned, and then slowly you add some bigger piece of wood, and then you can add, eventually you can put a big rock and it's burned. The same way as a metta, you start with a specific and small thing first. So you start with that weak and strong, the great and mighty, medium, short and small, seen and the unseen, near and far away, born and to be born. Basically, actually, the word born is translation from the word puta. Puta here is mean is already born and it will not be born again, which is mean the arhat. And for all of us who still get into samsara, we consider to be born. In the Pali is called sampavesi, meaning that we're seeking the place to be reborn. So as far as we not fully enlightened arahant, we still to be born. So the word born is, that how the translation is. You can't give all the meaning, but the meaning here is Buddha mean only Arahant, the one who be born, and this is their last life. They will not born again. So only Arahant will be qualified as the word born. For all of us, we to be born because we're gonna be born in the future. Okay, and then here, not deceive another. Okay, so not only that we spreading the metta, we also not deceive other as well. So wishing them well, and at the same time we not harming them. And then we not with anger or ill will or wish harm to anybody. And the Buddha give very beautiful simile here. It's like the mother protects the holy child in that. So how careful she would do, if that the only son that she has. So the same way when you look at all the living beings like that, it's like the mother taking care of their child. So we call it boundless heart. So a beautiful similarly here. So you should cherish all living beings like that, radiate kindness over the entire world. So we spreading upward here, there to the sky. Here is mean to the Brahma world, the material world of the jhana, the concentration. Everyone outward and unbound. So the one is spreading around is the one that equal to us. For example, if we born as human, the one who equal to us born in the human realms. Okay, so this is the special quality of the metta in Buddhism, because it's no boundary. It's for everybody. It's not just our group. It's just the whole all living being qualify for this loving kindness from us. So we can generate this energy to everybody. And then whatever we do, posture that we take, walking, sitting, or lying down, we can do the metta, because this is a special meditation. Like if you contemplate on breathing, you have to sit, because it's very defined. You can't walking and do this breathing meditation. But metta, you can do it any posture. So that's why it's very special. You can continuously do that, and then it will take you to the Brahma world if you still have to be reborn again. Okay, so that's why they put it there. And then the last sentence is by not views. Fixed view here is mean like when you spread metta, if you not be careful, you might be thinking of being as the self, and you will fall into the what we call sakaya titti, the sense of here is this is particular person, I attached to that, and when that person die, you feel sad, you feel the opposite of metta actually. So very important is to have the right view that actually that's the being is just the convention. All they have is just 5 khanda, the forms and the mind and materials. All of that is not any person there. It's not atta. It's not permanent soul there. It just the causes and condition come together, and that's arise, and the cessations of this stream of 5 khanda. So that why it's there, and having clarity of vision here is mean the sotapanna, stream enterer, the wisdom from stream enterer, and the pure hearted one is mean they have the complete sila. So the stream enterer, they will fulfill their sila, their precept completely, with no wrong view anymore. They have the right view. So that sentence is finished with the stream enterer. And the second one, being free from all sense desire, this is for the anakami, non-returner. and not born again into this world. Actually, in this world, in the Pali is called the one who born in the mother wombs. So that consider all the sensual realms is all born in the mother womb. So actually in the wording, it's mean of anakami, the one who not reborn in the world of sensual world anymore. If they're gonna born, they will be reborn in the Brahma world and then Parinipan from there. So the whole teaching is up to the anakami, the non-returner. But then when you practice, you can go all the way to the arhat, like the group of monks that I mentioned. He used this as a baseline, and then he used vipassana after this. So he finished all his job, become fully enlightened. Okay, so this sutta is very full of meaning. Actually, if you look in the Pali, it's not so long, but in the short time, they put every concept there. Basically, 3-step training there, the metta, the way to practice, and at the end, not to attach to the beings, but seeing it as a non-self, seeing it as a continuity of this life continuums of body and mind. So it's just no atta there, and up to the stream enterer and non-returner and arahant. Okay, so I hope that in a short time I give some meaning to the chanting that we do every time, and explain why I love it so much, and it's very full of meaning. So you can go and read about it some more. I do it quickly for a short time, so you can learn it. And when you chant it, you should be able to get some of this meaning, and you feel joy of this special sutta. And maybe you can use that, as your guidance when you practice. So thing to do, what should be done, and to spreading loving kindness. Okay, so I will leave my take on the sutta that we chant every day, and hopefully you will find that useful.
Andamayang Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karang Dadamase.
Sadhu, 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 anumodami. Thank you, Tanajan, for the Dhamma teaching. Let us show our appreciation to Tanajan by bowing 3 times. Just bow. Second bow. Third bow. May we invite Tanajan to lead us in the closing homage, please.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivatemi Sakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami.
Once again, thank you, Tanajan, for teaching us. May Tanajan stay safe and healthy. So we'll see Tanajan next Friday again.
Okay, so see you next Friday.
Thank you, Tanajan.